So, you use the internet every single day. But have you ever stopped to think about what you're actually clicking on? We throw around terms like website and web app, but what's the real difference? Think of a classic website like a digital brochure or a museum exhibit. You can look at it, read the information, and maybe click a link to go to another page. It's mostly for show and tell. It gives you information, but you don't really do much with it. It's a one-way street. Information flows from the site to you, and that's pretty much the end of the story. Now, a web application is a whole different beast. It's not just a brochure, it's a tool. It's interactive. It's like a workshop where you can build things, organize stuff, and make things happen. A web app lets you, the user, change what you see on the screen. You can add things, delete things, and talk to other people. Instead of just reading, you are actively participating. It's a two-way conversation between you and the software. That simple shift from looking to doing is the giant leap that separates a simple website from a powerful web application. It's the difference between watching a cooking show and actually being in the kitchen making the meal yourself. Let's look at some all-stars you probably use every day. Think about Gmail. You don't just read emails, you write them, you send them, you organize them into folders, and you delete spam. That's a web app. Or how about Facebook? You're not just looking at a static page, you're posting updates, liking photos, and chatting with your friends in real time. That's a web app too. Even when you're shopping on Amazon, you're adding items to a cart, entering your payment info, and tracking your order. These are all powerful tools that live inside your web browser, designed for you to interact with them in a meaningful way. So, the key takeaway here is interaction. A website presents information like a digital poster. A web application, on the other hand, is a program that runs in your browser. It's designed for you to perform tasks. If you can manipulate the data on the page, create an account, upload a photo, buy a product, or send a message, chances are you're using a web app. It's this dynamic back-and-forth action that makes them such an essential part of our modern digital lives. They are the engines that power our productivity, our social connections, and our entertainment online. Alright, so how do these incredible web apps actually work? It's not magic, it's engineering. And like any great engineering project, it's built in layers. Think of it like a restaurant. There are three main parts: the front end, the back end, and the database. The front end is everything you can see and touch. It's the dining area of the restaurant. It includes the tables, the chairs, the decorations, and the menu you hold in your hands. In web app terms, this is the user interface. The buttons you click, the text you read, and the images you see. It's all designed to give you a great experience. The front end is all about presentation. Its job is to look good and be easy to use. When you visit a web app, your browser downloads a bunch of code, usually HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The HTML is like the skeleton, providing the basic structure. The CSS is the style, like the paint color and the furniture, making everything look nice. And the JavaScript is the interactive part. It's what makes buttons work when you click them, and what shows or hides things on the page without you having to reload it constantly. This is your direct line of communication with the app, but what happens when you actually order your food? That's where the back end comes in. The back end is the kitchen of our restaurant. You, the customer in the dining room, don't see it, but it's where all the real work happens. When you click a button on the front end, like Add to Cart or Send Message, you're placing an order with the kitchen. The back end is a powerful server that receives your request. It contains all the logic and rules for how the application should work. It processes your order, figures out what needs to be done, and prepares the response. And finally, where does the kitchen get its ingredients? From the database, which is like the restaurant's giant pantry or walk-in freezer. The database is where all the information is stored safely and permanently. This includes user accounts, passwords, your saved emails, your friends list, or the products available in an online store. When the backend needs to retrieve some information, like your user profile, or save new information, like a new to-do list item, it communicates directly with the database. These three parts, Front-end, back-end, and database work together seamlessly to create the smooth, interactive experience you know and love. Let's make this super clear with a simple example: an online to-do list app. Imagine you just signed up and you're looking at a clean, empty page. This page, with its title, a text box to type in, and an Add Task button, is the front end. It's what the developers built using HTML for structure and CSS for style to make it look inviting and easy to understand. It's waiting for you to do something. Right now, it's just a pretty picture, but it's ready for action, thanks to its JavaScript code that is listening for your clicks and keystrokes. So you decide to get organized. You click into the text box and type your first task: build a giant squirrel obstacle course. As you type, that's the front end in action. Then you click the Add Task button. This is the moment the magic begins. The JavaScript in the front end immediately grabs the text you wrote. It then packages this information into a request and sends it over the internet to the back-end server. Your browser is essentially sending a message that says, "Hey, this user wants to add a new task called Build a Giant Squirrel Obstacle Course to their list." Now the back end, our busy kitchen, receives this request. It's a program running on a server somewhere in the world. First, it checks if you're logged in and have permission to add tasks. Assuming you do, the back-end logic kicks in. It understands that its job is to store this new task, so it turns to its trusty partner, the database. It sends a command to the database, something like, "Please store this new text, build a giant squirrel obstacle course, and connect it to this specific user's account." The database follows the order and saves the information securely. Once the database confirms the task is saved, it sends a success message back to the back-end. The back-end then sends a final response back to your browser. The front end. This response says, "All good. The task has been saved." The JavaScript on the front end receives this confirmation and instantly updates the page right before your eyes. Your new task, Build a Giant Squirrel Obstacle Course, now appears in the list on your screen. You didn't even have to refresh the page. This entire round trip, from your click to the task appearing, happens in a fraction of a second. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Web applications have fundamentally changed how we use the internet, and in many ways, how we live our lives. They've transformed the web from a static library of information into a dynamic and interactive playground. Instead of just being consumers of content, we've become creators, collaborators, and managers of our own digital worlds. This shift is enormous. It means that powerful software is no longer something you have to buy in a box and install on just one computer. Now it's accessible from any device with a web browser. The beauty of web apps lies in their accessibility and convenience. Think about it. You can check your email from your laptop, your phone, or a library computer. Your data, like your emails in Gmail or your documents in Google Docs, isn't stuck on one machine. It lives in the cloud, stored safely in a database, ready for you to access whenever you need it. This has powered the rise of remote work, online education, and global social networks. It connects us and empowers us in ways that were pure science fiction just a few decades ago. It's a massive upgrade for humanity's toolkit. This three-part structure, front-end, back-end, and database, is the fundamental blueprint behind almost every major online service you use. From complex video editing software that runs in your browser to the simple act of liking a friend's photo, this coordinated dance is happening behind the scenes. Understanding this basic model is the first step to demystifying the technology that shapes our world. It's not some unknowable magic. It's a system of logical parts working together to serve a specific purpose, designed by creative engineers to solve real-world problems. In the end, web applications are more than just code. They are the tools we use to connect, create, and organize our lives. They are the digital storefronts, offices, and town squares of the 21st century. By providing a platform for interaction, they have unlocked incredible potential for innovation and convenience. So the next time you add an item to your online shopping cart or send a message to a friend, take a moment to appreciate the incredible, invisible journey that your request is taking, from your screen to a server and back again, all in the blink of an eye.